street protests in the Moroccan capital, Rabat. Once again, they were organised by a group of young liberals who call themselves the 20th of February movement. It was on that day this year that their protests began. But the latest round of protests have been given fresh impetus by the death a few days ago of one of the most high-profile demonstrators, Kamal Ammari. Zineb Belem is an activist with the 20th February movement. She told me about the mood in Morocco at the moment.
I would say it's explosive, actually, since the death of Kamal Ammari this week from the February 20th movement in Safi.
How did he die?
Well, he died from severe beatings that he received from the oppressive authorities and police forces.
So the most recent demonstrations are the first ones that have taken place since his death?
No, they aren't the first ones. We've been trying to protest, but we were definitely beaten every time, and this is the first time that the authorities didn't come and arrest us during the protest.
And the actual protest movement itself, is that now leaderless?
It has always been leaderless. It's always been a democratic movement, and we've always voted in order to decide how and what to do next.
But the killing of Kamal has not lessen the momentum of the protests?
Not at all. Kamal wasn't a leader. He was from another city, Safi. He was one of the protesters, and we've all stood by him and definitely came out today in order to make sure that we communicate that he died because of the oppressive authorities.
What is it exactly that the 20th of February movement wants to see in Morocco?
Every time we come out, it becomes clearer that we first want to achieve freedom of expression, and then we'll be able to communicate all our demands for a democratic constitution, parliamentary monarchy, etc., etc.
So in other words, you're saying that at the moment it's even difficult to get your demands heard?
Exactly. I mean, we're just trying to get our right to express ourselves without being killed first.
So when you see what has happened recently in neighbouring countries such as Tunisia and Egypt, is that what you want to see in Morocco?
This isn't our decision to make. We've always protested peacefully. It is the authorities' decision to make, whether to make this a bloody evolution, I would call it, or a bloody revolution. So.
What's the response been so far from the king himself?
He has responded once, March 9th, with a speech, and we were pretty positive about that. Unfortunately, March 13th, protesters were hit by police, and so this sort of sent a contradictory message. We were trying to enforce the message that he communicated, and wondering what is happening. Is this a road to freedom being beat up in the streets?
We have an extract of an interview that we'd like to play to you. It's very short. It's Prince Melo Hishan, a relative of the king. He's described, I think, as the Red Prince, isn't he? He's at pains to stress that there's no way he can influence the king, but nevertheless, it's quite interesting what he says.
For Morocco to prosper, for Morocco to advance, and for the monarchy to be preserved, it needs to install significant changes that ultimately would lead the monarchy down the path of a constitutional monarchy.
Do you think most people in Morocco would still be happy with that, with a constitutional monarchy, or is the monarchy now seen as something that needs to be got rid of because of the repression that you've described?
Not at all. I don't think we have radicalized our movement just because of the oppression faced by the authorities. We do believe in monarchy, but we want it to be a parliamentary monarchy, the democratic constitution.
And do you think anyone's listening at the moment?
We have a chance at this, and we're definitely going to do the best we can to get the people's voice heard.
In terms of the support you have in Morocco, I mean, how many people in Morocco feel as you do you think? Are you in a majority?
It is everyone's demand to be able to have a voice in this country. This is all we are trying to enforce here. It's just everyone having a voice, and of course, getting everyone the rights that they deserve.
That's Zineb Belem from the 20th February movement in Morocco.